Welcome. It's the Matic. It's the illest blurred in the land. Welcome back to Ill Blur. Matic was one. Let's thank you so much for commenting, liking, subscribing, also returning. Let's get into today's new video. Today's new video is something that is very surprising. Hearing about it for quite a while, since the early 2000s, and I wasn't really for sure what was really going on with this movie. I remember seeing it on Toonami back in my teenage years, and it was, to me, I was like, yo, this is definitely an impressive film, and probably one of the second or third animated films that I saw on actually Toonami, because remember at that time Toonami did have anime and cartoons on it. So let's talk about it. Live action Akira is in production trouble. Okay, so we're going to talk about these directors, the studios, and some of the history behind the Akira live action movie. So the first thing that I want to talk to you guys about is the first company that owns the rights to Akira, one of my favorite anime movies. And the first studio is Sony. Sony owned Akira during the 90s. And there was no hope, I guess. Maybe Sony didn't really see the value of making a live action Akira movie in the 90s. Because you have to remember, in the 90s, that's the start when anime became the popular thing within the US. So maybe Sony just didn't see the potential, the growth, maybe even the money. All right. And maybe that's why they did not produce an actual film that was going to be a live action Akira. So that's the first studio. Now, the next studio that owns them currently, and you know what, I'm a little disappointed, a little bit surprised at the same time, and I'm trying to comprehend why y'all have not put out a live adaptation movie for Akira. So let's talk about it. The new studio that owns it, and I should say in the 2000s, is Warner Brothers. What? Yes, Warner Brothers is the ones that own the rights to Akira the anime. Interesting, very interesting. I was surprised that they did not put this out. I was like, do y'all know the era that we live in now? Anime movies make a lot of money, a lot of moolah, cheddar, mozzarella, whatever you want to call it. Interesting. So let's talk about when this movie got greenlit. So Akira the live action adaptation movie got greenlit by Warner Brothers in October 2011. The original director, which is the very first director that they had in mind for this movie, was no other than one of the Hughes brothers. Albert Hughes was the original director for the Akira movie. Wow, that's an interesting choice. And the reason I say that is because he's known for doing movies with his brother. You know what I'm saying? Boys in the Hood, more urban-like films. And for him to be like one of the directors, like just solo without his brother, because they're a duo, interesting choice. Now, Albert Hughes confirms that the studio has some things that they had in mind. The first thing was they didn't believe in the film. Did not believe in the film. Originally, the film was a $9 million budget film. Then it was a $12 million budget film. So, I guess it was maybe a money issue probably involved with it. The other thing that he mentioned was they were trying to whitewash Akira. Oh, man, get out of here. Oh, my God. I'm going to show you the list. The list got some top-notch actors, but apparently Albert Hughes wanted to hire Japanese actors for the full cast. Now, I respect Albert Hughes for saying, you know what? I'm not trying to go this direction with the movie where y'all wanted to be all white actors playing these roles. I want to hire Japanese actors. I respect him for that. The other thing was he wanted to stick to the original story. So I like that he wasn't one of those directors that was just like trying to fit in, like, oh yeah, white actors, we're gonna hire them to play these roles. And I don't want to compare these, but we've seen that also with Ghost in the Shell, where Scarlett Johansson was not an Asian lead, she was a white lead, and that was whitewashed as well. So, man, disappointing, very disappointing to see this. And I actually like the Ghost in the Shell live adaptation with Scarlett Johansson, even though I would have preferred to see an Asian actress to take on the role for that character. Unfortunate. And he did not go on to actually direct the movie. And you know what? Maybe things happen for a reason, and that was why. Now, the next director that they had in mind was also a decent director, probably one of my favorite sci-fi directors. And who am I talking about? Christopher Nolan. I was like, yo, I remember hearing about this. I'm like, man, Christopher Nolan got his hands on this. And when does this take place? Also in 2016 as well. And he had a vision for it. You know what I'm saying? He wanted to make it a trilogy. And I guess maybe Warner Brothers wasn't feeling the idea. Maybe they had some creative differences behind the scenes. And he no longer ended up being the director for it. I mean, it would have been interesting to see a trilogy. He does a great job doing sci-fi films. If you've seen Inception, some of his other work, Nolan definitely was a top tier choice if you ask me. That's just my opinion. Now, the third director that they had in mind was someone else that I also enjoy their cinematography. And this director right here definitely probably would have been another decent choice. And the next choice is Jordan Peele. Wow. I like this choice. I really was liking this choice. And you know what? The same thing that he had in mind that was very similar to Albert Hughes. The first thing was he wanted to hire all Japanese actors. The other thing was this was going to be his passion project. He was passionate about it. He wanted to do something that was unique for it to be a remake of the 1997 movie. And I guess maybe behind the scenes they were having differences with the creativity for where they wanted to go with the movie. And we did not hear that he was going to continue forward being the director for the movie. Now, the last choice is the one where I'm like, maybe, just maybe, oh, maybe. The last choice was someone where I'm like, he alright. But I don't know if I would want him to be the director for it. And I don't even know if he still is the director after all. Was Taiki. Taiki expressed that he wanted to work on Akira. And the thing was, during the time that he was supposed to have been working on Akira, he was working on Thor, Love, and Thunder. And he talked about having the film to be delayed. It's still unknown if Taiki is still attached to this $12 million budget movie. But I got an issue though. Warner Brothers, if you don't want the film, sell it to another streaming platform. Sell it to Amazon Prime. Sell it to Netflix. I mean, shoot, even sell it to Hulu if you want to do that, or Paramount Plus. It seems like they don't have their visions aligned for this. Warner Brothers wants to whitewash it. These directors that they had in mind were like maybe against it. Surprising to hear that this movie is still not happening, like where we're gonna see it coming very soon. Very unfortunate. I do know that Taiki is still interested in directing it, so maybe there's some hope. Even though he's not like my favorite director or anything like that, that he will maybe continue forward to direct the movie. But only time will tell, right? But you guys tell me in the comments, do you think Warner Brothers is wrong for trying to whitewash the Akira movie? And my next question is, which director out of the 4 directors would you like to see actually direct Akira the live action movie? You tell me in the comments, guys. It's a blur living the word, guys. Thank you so much for commenting, liking, subscribing, and also fully watching the video, guys. And I'm out.